First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Welcome to WUFT News First at 5. I'm Megh Porterfield.
And I'm Mariana Larsen. Thanks for joining us.
Gainesville is wrestling with the issue of affordable housing, and leaders will soon vote on a controversial proposal. The idea is to no longer have exclusionary zoning where neighborhoods could only have single-family homes.
Thousands of people have signed a petition against the idea. WUFT's Richard Mason explains what's at stake.
The Gainesville City Commission has set a date to decide whether to eliminate single-family zoning. The first of two votes to eliminate exclusionary zoning citywide is set for August 4th. However, neighborhoods are now up in arms about the possibility of duplexes being constructed all over town. One single-family home on Depot Avenue that some local residents call Petunia is one impacted by the zoning.
So we see single-family homes in our city, and then we see large apartments, but you don't see duplexes and triplexes and quadruplexes. And that has been by design by the previous city commissions who tried to create that segregation.
If the vote to eliminate exclusionary zoning passes, the city of Gainesville will become the first city in Florida to take on the citywide policy change.
Some city commissioners see the good this does for housing in the city.
So just because they're naturally more affordable, which allows more housing for our working families who are getting pushed out.
The single-family zoning category makes up 63% of the city's residential lots. If passed, it would become neighborhood residential and allow small-scale multifamily buildings. Richard Mason, WUFT News.
The number of units allowed on a lot would depend on the size of the land. The proposal would allow a property owner to build or convert to a duplex on a lot as small as 0.16 acres. Florida now leads the nation in distributing pandemic relief for homeowners. $240 million have been awarded so far, providing relief for more than 8,000 homeowners. There are income limits and other factors to qualify. You can learn more at the website flhomeownersassistance.org.
WUFT's Julia Haley joins us now with the weather forecast. Julia?
All over north central Florida, currently sitting in the mid-90s, 94 Gainesville, 95 Ocala, 94 the Villages, 91 Daytona, and 96 for Jacksonville, but feels almost 10 degrees warmer in some areas. Feels like 99 in Gainesville, 101 in Ocala, 100 in Bronson, and feels like 104 in Jacksonville. Outside of our studio though, seeing those clear blue skies, seeing the sun as well, 95 but feels like 99 degrees outside of our studio. Dropping down from the 90s into the mid 70s with those sunny skies staying throughout the night, clear skies in the morning. Back to you.
As we anticipate more storms during hurricane season, Gainesville residents can expect expensive preparation costs. For low-income people with inflation at 8.6%, getting supplies is becoming more difficult. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, grocery prices are 12% higher than they were in 2021, becoming the largest year-over-year increase since 1979. So far in the 2022 Atlantic season, 21 storms were named, with 10 possibly becoming hurricanes. A Gainesville meteorologist has some tips to mitigate the financial difficulties this has placed on residents.
You don't have to make all those purchases all at once, right? You can make those purchases over the course of years if you have to, especially those big things like generators.
The normal peak for the hurricane season is coming up in August and September.
Record flash flooding in Kentucky killed at least 16 people. Many more are missing, with entire cars and homes submerged or swept away. NBC's Jesse Kirsch has made it to Jackson in eastern Kentucky.
At last word from the governor of Kentucky, at least 16 people are confirmed dead, including children, and that number is expected to climb. The number of deaths is expected to go up, unfortunately. There is a cell reception issue out here in Kentucky, which is, of course, making it hard for people to communicate. So I don't think we're going to know the full scope of the devastation here for some time. Here in Jackson, Kentucky, where I am right now, you can see behind us homes with flooding damage. And I see someone standing outside in a yard right now. So there are still people in these neighborhoods. We saw a man down the road from here who said he has nowhere to go, so he's just sitting on his porch on a second story. The bottom floor has waist-deep water, he says. And this home right here, according to a man who lives there, says is normally about 20 feet up on an embankment. However, now you can see water is going up to the porch of this home. So the water, according to that man, is up about 20 feet. And we're looking at water going more than 50 yards across with a current here in Jackson, Kentucky. It looks like a river, but this is supposed to be dry land. The devastation here, again, is something that I don't think we're going to have the full scope of for quite some time. Again, authorities expecting the death toll to climb, and those rescue efforts are continuing with so many people now trying to figure out what comes next for them. Back to you.
The Red Cross is accepting donations as its teams are at work in Kentucky. Closer to home, Florida's tax-free holiday period is well underway. We have some tips on what you can buy tax-free before sending your kids back to school. Let's break down what items you can save on now. Learning aids and jigsaw puzzles under $30, most school supplies under $50, clothing, footwear, and accessories under $100, and computers and accessories under $1,500 are all exempt from sales tax. The savings end next Sunday, August 7th. Well, Mariana, that holiday could help a lot of families facing financial issues right now.
Definitely, Meg. Inflation is on the rise, and possible talks of a recession are confusing a lot of Americans.
Coming up on First at 5, we'll navigate you through some of the biggest economic headlines. Stick around.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome back to WUFT's First at 5.
The economy seems to be on everyone's mind this week as we may head towards a recession. Let's get into some economy-related news in our economy report. We start with fears of a recession after the latest GDP numbers showed another quarter of declining growth. What's more, a key inflation gauge jumped its highest 12-month gain in more than 40 years. According to the Bureau of Economic Analysis, the Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index rose 6.8% from a year ago. That's the biggest 12-month move since the 6.9% increase in January 1982. And on a month-to-month basis, from May to June, prices increased 1%. That's the largest monthly gain since 2005.
The super tight labor market during the pandemic has forced employers to increase their compensation to fill open positions and to hold on to workers. Although workers' wages continue to increase, it still wasn't enough to compensate for the even faster rise in inflation. The U.S. government reports wages and salaries for civilian workers increased 1.4% in the second quarter and 5.3% over the year ending in June. But after adjusting for inflation, wages and salaries declined 3.5% over the past year.
Pending home sales declined 8.6% from May to June as escalating mortgage rates and housing prices had a significant impact on potential buyers. In comparison to the previous year, contract signing dropped by double digits in each region. The National Association of Realtors said they expect to see contract signings for homes to continue to drop so long as mortgage rates continue to climb. But the American economy isn't the only one suffering.
That's right, Meg. Europe is also feeling the effects of high inflation rates. The Eurozone is a group of countries who utilize the euro as their main form of currency. Inflation rates in the Eurozone were higher than expected in the second quarter at 8.9% up to the month of July. Europe also saw a 40% rise in energy prices and a 10% increase in food prices. Despite this, the Eurozone's economy grew 0.7% in the second quarter. That concludes our economy report. Well, Meg, Pope Francis's Canadian trip is coming to an end.
Yes, Mariana. On his last day, he met with a delegation of Indigenous peoples at the Archbishop's residence in Quebec. The Pope commented on Catholic missionaries who supported oppressive and unjust policies against Indigenous peoples in Canada and vowed to pursue truth and healing. He also reiterated his apology to the group, consisting of residential school survivors from Eastern Canada. The Canadian government says more than 150,000 Indigenous children were forcibly removed from their homes and moved into boarding schools, where many were physically and sexually abused. This was done to assimilate them into Christian society. Pope Francis will conclude his tour of Canada with a stop in Nunavut, a province with a majority population of Indigenous people. Our hearts are with all of those affected.
Coming up next on WUFT's First at 5, forecaster Julia Haley will tell us what to expect for this weekend. Stick around.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Currently feeling like the triple digits in some areas of north central Florida. Feeling like 100 for Ocala, 98 here in Gainesville, and 102 in Jacksonville. However, it's just a little bit cooler outside. 94 in Gainesville, 95 Ocala, 94 the Villages, 91 Daytona, 89 St. Augustine, and 94 in Jacksonville. So it feels a little hot, a hot summer day here in Gainesville as well. 96, but feels like 99. Seeing that sunny sky outside with some clouds as well outside of our studio, dropping from the 90s into the mid 70s throughout the evening and into the morning, those cloudy skies becoming clear overnight. And for this weekend, expect those sunny skies to stay, meaning that you should be seeing some nice summer days outside, perfect for the pool. So get outside as those highs sitting at 94 degrees for Saturday afternoon. That chance for rain, but not very prevalent here in Gainesville. Same for Sunday with that high sitting in the mid 90s. And for the rest of this week, those above average temperatures should be staying, meaning that we should be seeing some above average temperatures in Gainesville as well. 96 in Gainesville and Tampa, 95 Orlando, 94 Daytona, and 94 for Jacksonville. So Monday is looking to be once again another hot day outside. Above average temperatures staying even until Tuesday, as well as this warm air mass sits just above Gainesville and all of north central Florida throughout the week. And of course, that muggy meter, it's looking pretty muggy outside, sweltering even for Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday, but going on to Monday and Tuesday, drying up just a little bit as those dew points drop into the upper 60s. So in Gainesville, expecting those above average temperatures this week, that low chance for showers for the weekend, and those dew points are going to drop, meaning it's going to feel just a little bit less muggy outside. So for the rest of your week, expect those sunny skies for the weekend. Starting up on Tuesday, that chance for showers ramping up once again. But for the weekend, sunny skies ahead. Seeing those highs in the mid 90s, which are above average for this time of year, and those lows sitting in the mid and low 70s. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. ESPN sports analyst Stephen A. Smith visited Gator Nation this week. He spoke about his own college experience, his career, and his mentality.
WUFT's Shawn Humphrey was at the event. Shawn, how was it?
Let me tell you, Mariana, the event was fire. Smith has recently been absent from his show because he's been recovering from shoulder surgery, so the energy at the event was insane. Everyone was excited to be there, especially the students I spoke with.
The click of this camera is the sound of eager journalism student Trey Johnson. He aims to follow a similar path of the man who takes the stage in front of him, Stephen A. Smith, one of the most iconic faces in sports television.
Do your homework. Have an idea what the hell you're talking about. And then be honest enough to tell the audience what that is and why.
With every anecdote, Trey took notes.
He makes you believe things that you disagree with. Like, there are takes that he has that don't make any sense, but he's very passionate about them. And you're like, I can see where he's coming from.
Beyond capturing the moment, he actively listened to make sure he didn't miss a play.
I look at him as somewhere to shoot for, something to not necessarily model myself after, because I got to be myself in this industry, but to get to where he's going, I had to be paying attention.
Trey isn't the only scholar who craved Stephen A's fresh take. UF student Aiden Hall was also in the crowd.
It's like really cool to get an experience, like be that close with him and like hear his thoughts and tips on how to pursue that kind of stuff and kind of like how he thinks.
Data science major Landon Glavich has ESPN dreams. Stephen A's words inspired him.
Keeping your eyes on that goal and not letting anybody get in the way. Just kind of that mentality, right, where it's like you got to do what you have to do before you get to do what you want to do.
What they all want to do is take some X's and O's from Stephen A's playbook.
I'm definitely really excited. I got a picture with Stephen A after the event, so I'm ready to go. I'm coming.
With that in mind, Trey and his peers will continue to grind in hopes of modeling some of Stephen A's shine.
Smith is set to return to his popular show First Take in August. Fun fact, he happens to be one of the highest paid sports analysts in the game. That's all I have for now. Back to the desk.
Continuing our sports coverage, Gators football have a big weekend ahead with some Friday night lights, recruits, and even a cookout.
When we come back from the break, WUFT's Jason Bennett will tell us more. Stay with us.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Jason Bennett. Florida Gators football will be hosting an annual Friday Lights event tonight and throughout the weekend. This is Billy Napier's first Friday Night Lights event as head coach. Napier is expected to have several of his top recruits in town, including defensive tackle James Smith and Quay Rashaw. Gators that have already committed also will be in attendance, like receivers Eugene Wilson and Cree Whittemore. Coach Napier received a commitment this afternoon from 2023 four-star receiver Aiden Mazzell. After the football camp tonight, there will be a cookout Saturday afternoon. Moving from the field to the pool, 22 current, former, and UF swimmers are competing at the national championships in California. So far, the Gators have taken 5 gold medals in the last 3 days. Kevin Vargas finished second in his preliminary session, ranking him top 10 in the world. This year's earning a gold medal. UF volunteer coach Katie Ledecky had her personal best time in the 400 meter, 4 minutes and 35 seconds, claiming her 3rd national title in 3 days. Several other Gators have turned into top 10 results. That's your look at sports, and now back to the desk.
Thanks, Jason. When I think of summer, I always think of Shawn Mendes.
Me too, but I don't think we'll be seeing him live anytime soon. Ariana Psarakos fills us up on why.
Ariana Psarakos is my name and Entertainment Time is my game. Hi, I'm Ariana Psarakos and this is Entertainment Time with me, Ariana. Raise your hand if you're done listening about the infamous Oscar slap. I promise that this is the last time you will ever hear about this again. Will Smith, who has addressed the slap a couple times so far, is addressing it once more in an Instagram video.
I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out.
In some sad news, the love of my life, Shawn Mendes, is canceling the rest of his concert tour. He posted a paragraph on Twitter stating that I started this tour excited to finally get back to playing live after a long break due to the pandemic. But the reality is I was not at all ready for how difficult touring would be after this time away. On some really sad news, this is your last dose of Entertainment Time with me, Ariana. I hope you all have enjoyed watching me, Ariana, all these months. On behalf of all our cast and crew who are graduating from UF this summer, thanks for watching. Take care.
Before we go, let's take one last check on the weather. Julia, what you got?
This evening, expect those sunny skies to stay, but dropping into the low 70s by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. On to the weekend, seeing those sunny skies above average temperatures and seeing some rain toward the end of the week. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. BBC World News is next, and the PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7.
But remember, your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a great night.